Okay, hi everybody. This is another short one-take Bible video, which is sort of big beep. That's probably that looks like it's from Facebook. Not important. Anyway, I'm Brian Davidson. I've been reading through the book of John. Right now, we are we are looking at the part of the book of John where Jesus is talking to a Samaritan woman, or he just talked to a Samaritan woman, and then he talked to his disciples. She ran off, and the disciples had a question similar to the Samaritan woman's question. And it was in regards to outreach. It was in regards to meeting the public and, in a way, meeting the culture, meeting the public beyond our own cultures, okay? Because this is what God does. He created us in ways where his fingerprints are all over different people groups. So, different tribes, different cultures, different nations. All these people are made in God's image, and God has their fingerprints on them in different ways. So, that's just, God made us grow into a very, very diverse people. And when we look at different people, we're seeing God's reflection. We're seeing God's image in a lot of different ways. Now, we're going to keep that in mind when we look at the response of the Samaritans to what the Samaritan woman said. Okay, the Samaritan woman comes to them with the news that the Messiah has come to them, and this kind of makes her like one of the first missionaries. Despite this woman being marginalized as being a Samaritan, marginalized as being a woman, this woman, and being the kind of person that people would think, oh, what are you telling me about God? This is where this woman's at. But none of that but God goes beyond all of this in the way that he uses her. So let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at what it says from John chapter 4, verses 39 through 42. Okay. Many Samaritans believe. Many of the Samaritans from that town believed in him because of the woman's testimony. He told me everything I did. That was the miracle. He knew her past without ever having met her. So when the Samaritans came to him, they urged him to stay with them, and he stayed 2 days. And because of his words, many more became believers. They said to the woman, "We no longer believe just because of what you said. Now we have heard for ourselves, and we know that this man really is the Savior of the world." Okay, so this is kind of interesting. Christ comes, and the Samaritans know that he is the Savior. They know that he's the Savior that they've been waiting for. Now, you contrast that to the religious people in the area. The religious people start to feel threatened. They start to try to trick Jesus. We'll see some of that later as we go through the Gospels. John is just the first Gospel that I'm going through. But it's very interesting because the religious culture at the time would have said, oh, yeah, well, the Messiah is obviously going to come to us first, right? We're the ones who are going to see it. But what we see is he's meeting people of many walks of life. And somehow, some way or another, they heard about this Jesus, and they said, and heard about the coming Messiah, and they've deduced from her testimony And from meeting him, he spent 2 days with them, that this is the Messiah. This is the Savior of the world. So we look at this early mission endeavor from a woman that many people at this time that Jesus is walking, and perhaps many people at this time who believe themselves to be strong religious, would not be the kind of person that was supposed to be a good Christian, not supposed to be a good religious person. But despite being marginalized, and despite her background, where I hear people all the time saying things like, if I went to church, I would spontaneously combust. Or, any sort of variant of, I'm not good enough to even try to be a Christian. Well, this woman heard the news religiously of what she and her people were waiting for. And she just went. She told people around them. She spread the word around the village. It's like, I think this is the Savior. I think this is the Messiah. So thank God for this woman and her ministry and her seizing the moment that Jesus was here, and she recognized it. She recognized that this was the Messiah. So let's, wherever we're at, despite our differences, let's keep thinking about how the world needs to know Christ. And that world may not look like us, like you, like me, but Christ is beyond this. Christ is beyond our expectations. The disciples wanted to say to Jesus, it's like, why are you talking to this girl? But he met her as a Savior. And they believed that he is the Savior. That's Jesus. That's who he is. And we may want Jesus to meet people who are more like us, but Christ is beyond that. Christ is beyond on a cultural persuasion, a people group, or a politic. Okay? Christ is beyond all this. So let's remember that, and let's celebrate this woman, this pioneering Christian woman who went beyond herself, despite her background, and met people with the gospel. So God bless this Samaritan and with this Samaritan woman. And with that, I'm going to say, see you tomorrow and wash your hands. Take care, guys. Bye.